All right. We are rejoining you guys after you guys fought um, terrifically against multiple adult dragons, and finally defeating Igneel not once but twice. Uh, but Nidell seemingly has escaped from the fray, um, leaving you with the words that he was going to, rejoin his sister, down at the Cave of Wonders. And I believe that was where. Oh, and then near the end of the fight, Salim darted away with some last minute thinking to make a break for the dragon prison that you guys ran into the first time. And he's moving his little legs as fast as they could possibly carry him, as he'll need every spare second to get there in time for whatever plan he has hatched. Um, and I think that's it for the recap. Did I forget anything, guys? Karai has commanded her some of her soldiers to go start the clan on board ships and any kind of flying mounts that are non-draconic at the moment off the ship. Um, she made no clear provisions for any prisoners. And she's kind of holding her side a little bit, but she's trying not to let her pain show too much through her facial expression. She's quick to dismiss the Ashi that's kind of offering to help kind of escort her out. She kind of musters through it and dismisses his assistance, and just kind of stands up straight, uh, looking in the direction that she has sent her soldiers to go, start the escape of the ship. She looks at you all.
How the fuck do you fly this thing?
Yeah, that might be a good thing to know. Or, like, it's going to crash on purpose.
Aye. Lorna's saying that to Karai.
Callie's literally standing next to her.
He kind of looks at you all and says, "Well, you just tried to destroy the whole control thing here without a backup plan."
Okay, how the fuck were we supposed to know that rod controlled more than the dragons?
Reckless. There's not much more you can do to control the ship at this point. There's little things you could do to maybe mess with the wings and the mast a little bit to kind of do odds and ends, but it's going to be a incredibly manual process right now without the magic that was running through the ship previously.
And?
So, there's a helm upstairs?
You're gonna have to probably coordinate the wings to really get any kind of direction out of her. And the mast itself.
Well then.
Ship for the most part was controlled from wherever I stood with that when I had that relic.
Alrighty.
She kind of grabs her head a little bit.
Lead us to where the masts are then.
Scoffs. I'm getting me and my men and women off of the ship as quickly as possible.
Oh, no.
You could go down with the ship if you care.
Look, you're the reason there's a shit ton of prisoners here, and you're the reason your lands have nearly been conquered. you want to stop that, you're going to help us get this ship on the ground. That way, everybody survives.
She looks at you and she says, because we are aboard a crashing ship right now is the reason I let you and your friends continue to stand here before me.
Oh,
Do
I
not
thought
think
it was
that my
because
men...
you could barely stand. You're welcome, by the way. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure you would be dragon food.
My men and women would put their lives before me to deal with you all. Even if it meant not getting off this crashing ship. Do not test my clan and their loyalties.
Wouldn't dream of it. I'm testing yours. Is it to people? Or is it to yourself?
To the clan.
You can't get them all off before this crashes. When you figure that out, I hope you come find us and help.
I think you have the problem. I believe most of my, or a lot of my men have already left the ship in search of your lot down the ground.
Aren't you wondering where we're going to put the ship?
She pauses and raises an eyebrow in interest. When you put the ship, you barely keep this thing from going where it is now.
No,
there's
you
no helm.
can barely keep this ship. We can coordinate a lot of people to try and crash this thing. Where your men are. You know, trying to find us. And of course the two tieflings that are hell-bent on destroying the world, including you and your men. And women. And children. So if I were you, and
wouldn't
perhaps
dare
also
crash it into.
Look.
We've been led astray by that demon night owl.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the clan should not suffer for the
No, they shouldn't.
control of them.
Which is why, if you'd let me finish, you should probably tell them to get out of the caves. As well as off the ship. Unless, of course, you can help us land it where they aren't. We don't quite know where they are. Your choice, man. Come on.
Just above the table, just make sure I want to make sure I understand your proposition. You're asking her to help you direct or the ship and steer the ship in a certain direction and show you where everything is, like before, instead of evacuating the ship. Or if you do figure it out on your own, you're threatening to crash it into the camp and the surface itself.
Oh no, I'm telling her we're planning to crash it into the caves where she sent people. Not purposely aiming for her camps.
So if she helps you, you are saying you're not going to do that then?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Are you lying?
No, actually, Callie's completely serious. We're gonna get in the caves one way or the other. She would rather do it the way that doesn't kill people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry. Real quick, Salim, thanks for whispering, messaging me. I'm going to go ahead and take care of all this stuff because I'm sure this is going to take the whole 15 so minutes for them to have this dialogue, put a plan in action with what little time they have left. And then by that point, you should reach the dragons using all your tricks and wit to kind of navigate those tunnels as quickly as possible. If you're doing anything though to like speed it up or get your give you any kind of edge in time, let me know.
Well, I can dash. I can do my normal movement and then dash, and I have a ring of jumping, which lets me jump 30 feet.
Okay.
So
yeah, I mean, I'm assuming you're already dashing, so if you're doing the ring
Yep.
and jumping, that
Yep.
give you a little bit of an edge.
Just a little.
Okay. So back to this piece though. Sorry, I got
Okay.
distracted.
No problem.
What was the last thing you asked, Callie, or said?
It was
Uh,
different.
Basically, fuck. Callie was telling her our plan right now is to crash this into the cave. So if I were you, I'd get your men out of there, or help us land somewhere better. And then was turning to leave.
Who's to say you'll keep your word once I show you how to? If we can find a way, if I show you how to steer the ship, that you will not use it against my clan. You already have a traitor amongst your ranks here, Cronus. How long until you abandon this lot?
Well,
You
considering he hasn't.
get to fucking talk to him.
I shall do whatever I shall please.
So,
Lorna's like right on the edge of just kicking her into the pit.
okay. Look.
Oh, darling, you are so easy to read.
Doesn't fucking
At this
matter.
point, can you two like macho off on each other for like 10 seconds and then we can finish this?
She wouldn't even last that long.
Yeah, we're still crashing.
Right.
Yes.
Are you gonna
And
help
you
us or not?
and you've given my men a little bit longer to start assembling the rest of the troops to start evacuating. So, again, what assurances do I have that you're going to avoid the clan even if you find a way to do so?
Simplest one. You're not who we're actually after. Stay out of our way. No reason to get in yours. In case you haven't looked outside or figured out who your tiefling masters were working for, they're the fucking problem. Help us solve that problem. I don't want to kill other people. There's been enough fucking death and tragedy in this world. Don't you think?
Her brow frowns at the mention of the tiefling Nidell. I do have a score to settle with that one.
Mm.
And
if
that
you-
one, and she kind of motions over at Cronus.
Well,
But
tieflings first.
that's for
Because
another
there are
day.
2 of them.
If I'm gonna get off the ship and try to reclaim any of my clan that are down on the surface that have yet to hear the news, I need to make sure that the ship doesn't land in their vicinity.
Then I
She
suggest you
scoffs
help
again.
pilot
She
it.
shoves it to the Ashi, who's basically making his way out the tunnel loud enough, and she lets them know to start still getting people onto the all the clan onto the ships that are still abled and getting them off, but she wants them to start taking a squad a squad each for some of the major sections of the ship that she was describing to you earlier. We're going to do anything about this ship and how it's crashing currently. It's going to be you're going to have to go to the west and east of the ship and try to mess with the wing mechanism to try and control the angle and the way it's going to be turning and shifting in the wind. But that's not everything. You're going to need to control the mast to accelerate or descend in the direction that you really want to go faster. It's not going to keep it afloat, but you at least be able to steer it to wherever you want to destroy it. You have to decide, though. You have to decide if you want the wings to be, depending on the wings, the way you want them lay out. You can either get them to give you a little bit more airtime before this this bird crashes, or we could use the wings to make more significant turns, but we won't save any time.
All right. So we need 3 teams, 1 at the mast, 1 at the east, and 1 at the west.
Aye.
You and I both have the scouters. And so does looks for sleep. Okay, where the fuck did he go?
Lorna holds her earpiece. Salim? You alive? Where are you, bud?
Yes. I'm heading to the dragons. Down in the dragon prison to free them.
Okay. We're all good too. When? Okay, now's not the time to ask questions, but like that. Can you head back up once you're done? We're gonna try and crash the ship in a semi-safe place.
Well, I was going to get the white dragon, the female white dragon that we met,
Yeah.
and have her fly me to the end of the tunnel and pick up your black dragon that's still chained up and on the edge of the
Is he
cliff.
still there?
Yeah, the hawk.
Shouldn't be.
The hawk could only go that far and drop him right at the edge. Couldn't take him out. Remember?
You really don't know what the status is though after that.
Well, we estimated that that's as far. So I was gonna head there and see if
Okay.
he's there and pick him up.
yeah, you
Okay.
you
And
won't.
send the dragons that I free up to grab a bunch of the prisoners and escort them
Perfect.
off as a condition of freeing them.
Okay. Keep us updated. We're gonna try and land the ship.
Okay.
So, okay, with the scouters, does everybody who has the scouter hear that?
Only 3 of us.
Yeah, I'll say the 3 of you.
Okay.
Just to clarify, Slim, you would not have enough time to make it all the way back to the entrance where you guys first came. You would only have enough time to get to that prison dungeon where Rethic was imprisoned.
Well, I'll free them and see where it goes from there. Hopefully the rest of the team will get me some extra time.
Hopefully.
All right. Cronus, Skyball, do either of you have a way to communicate with Lorna
No.
from across the ship?
No.
Yeah, no.
Fuck.
I do know smoke signal.
Okay.
Who's the other person with the earring the whisper? That's
It's not
is that-
Lorna's sister, it's the other person that Skybar knows.
all right. Now, shoot, is it legal check? Leora, yeah, got it. Okay.
All right. So, who has the earrings?
Tybor and Leora.
Oh, no, it's in character.
Oh, sorry. Actually,
They and
it's
Leora.
been maybe yeah. Go ahead and finish that up, but I'll say it's getting close to like 2 or so minutes.
All
And
right.
you're probably gonna get a ring from some panicked prisoners at the moment. But go ahead and complete your thought.
Okay, Skyball. Right, here's a thought. Lorna and. Lorna, you're the best person that we have to fly the ship and honestly the strongest. Do not fucking kill Karai. We still need her alive, and also. Look at what's happened to her so far. You two, mast. I'll go to one wing. Skyball has the earring and can either go with you two up to the mast and send the other person with the earring to the other wing, or vice versa. And then you tell us what to do.
I think Cronus
Sound good?
should also go. Oh, this is hard because I feel like the wings are going to need strength. So,
I agree. So you should probably go with the other compared to the wings, because I'm not super strong, but I am at least strong-ish.
Okay. So what if... No, because that's not... Did the
It's the only way we can talk across a large airship without using spells.
Also, while you're thinking of it and I'm thinking of it, call Argo to get here, like, lickety-split. Can he teleport?
Like yesterday, yeah. Argo? No.
Like, didn't he, like, appear? No? Okay.
That's when you could pull him from the night sky, like after he got destroyed the one
Is
time.
it night?
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, is it nighttime right now? I would say no, because you sprung your plan early in the morning. You're probably in the afternoon, maybe, like
Yeah, so,
Okay.
10,
sound good to
11 in the
everybody, yeah?
morning.
Hold on.
Anybody
okay.
got another plan?
Karai, Lorna, and then Callie, and then...
I cast conjure animals at 5th level and conjure 16 giant owls.
Oh, fuck.
Alright.
Okay. What are you planning to do with those 16 owls there, buddy?
Alright, so I want to send most of the owls to the direction of the where the prisoners are and have them pick up as many prisoners as possible and carry them to safety. I'm going to have one of them get, Leora?
Yeah.
Leora?
The one with the earring, and have her go to the closest wing,
Mechanism.
and then I'm gonna take an owl and go to the other end, the other wing.
Okay. I got you. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have like a couple of more owls here to give anyone a lift if they need it.
Okay.
Do you want me to come with you or her?
No. I have this. So, Callie, you go with Leora because you can communicate with me, and Leora can communicate with Skybor. So we can do I go to you, and you and her go to Skybor communication. That works.
Right,
And Skybor
right.
and Crows
Skybor.
go together.
Okay. Skyball. Ask her
Yeah.
which wing she's close to, please, so I know which way to go.
What side of the place are you at? Not
Was that a
responding. I
question?
think she.
Was that a question for me? I'm sorry.
I think she's dead.
Yeah.
We should move on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What did you say, Skyward?
Where
Is
are
that a
you
ship?
in this place?
Where are you? What?
Where are you at? North,
Oh,
south,
okay.
east, west.
She goes.
Drop location, please.
Give me latitude, longitude.
Or she'll kind of call out. She goes, "We're kind of getting pushed back down by the prison yards. We're still on the second level though. We're not letting them push us back down to the gates. Everything's going crazy. Lots of fire, lots of smoke. People are starting to panic. The ship is crashing at the moment.
Okay, I want to look around because we should be able to see, open sky from where we're at. Correct?
Correct.
Okay, where's the smoke at?
There's a couple areas of smoke coming from the ship. Most notably, but you guys are familiar with it. You'll notice that there's smoke coming from the kind of the prison/courtyard where you guys saw the person giving or saw Karai giving that speech the night earlier. You will see a few fire smokes near the front of the ship as well as near the wings on the sides.
Yeah, Skyball
Alright,
maybe
she's
ask her
over
if
there.
she's on the east or the west side.
She'll say, she goes, I think I'm pretty near. I'm close to the closest spot I am at is probably somewhere in between the prison yards and the mast.
Alright. Skyball, can I have a lift with one of your owls, please?
Yeah.
Oh, Karai. How do I get your men to back the fuck off?
What's the safe word?
They'll get the orders soon enough to evacuate.
Is she wearing like a sash or anything? Silent.
I mean, she's got like a normal sash and where she keeps her kind of katana blade hilted on her side. Yeah.
Okay, is there any identifiable piece of clothing or like symbol on her?
Oh, are you guys? Who's in their guard disguise still? Because you guys went right into.
We would all
Callie
still
is.
be.
Huh?
We kind of all are in the guard disguise. Oh yeah, I don't need her. Never mind.
I think the only person not is Salim. I think I remember you someone saying notably that they took it off. I thought. I
Oh,
can't remember.
well
Yeah, I put
then,
it back on. I
Okay.
have a shredder. I put it back
Then,
on when I was back in the tunnels.
Gotcha,
then
okay.
I'm taking an owl down to the prison riot.
All right.
While everybody else goes about what we planned.
Yeah.
All right. So one owl's taking Callie and who?
Just me.
Who the
I'm gonna meet up with
masked in Leora, right?
yeah, I'm gonna go meet up with Leora.
Okay. So you grab hold of the owl as it clasps you as well, and then it just takes off, kind of dangling you from below, and starts flying you to the center of the ship, where you kind of see fire and smoke all over. On the ground, as you fly overhead, you fly overhead the shipyard leading out to the center of the ship. You will see there's several Ashi already starting to board full flying ships that remain in the shipyard, and some are getting ready to start taking off. You'll also start noticing from this bird's eye view some of the while there's prisoners and Ashi clans fighting war on the lower level. You'll see things closer to the stairs leading up to the upper level. You'll start to notice that those kind of soldiers are starting to retreat a little bit, but hold the line to keep everyone from going up the stairs, and only letting certain clan members go back up to the upper level to the airfields. You descend upon as smoke, and go ahead and give me a perception check. You have a high perception, right? It's like 30 something crazy.
25.
Okay. Okay. You're looking around. You've already, Skywar has already kind of told you that you guys were coming. And then as you got kind of overhead, you'll start to see some arms waving from the ground up in the air, trying to get your attention. And you'll notice it to be Leora. The owl descends and places you within a good 5 to 7 feet, and releases you, letting you kind of drop a little bit to the ground, but land safely on your feet before Leora. What would you like to do?
Are the guards still fighting near us?
Some of the guards are scuffling with some of the prisoners, but a lot of the prisoners and stuff are trying to just push their way through the crowd. Seems like a lot of them have lost the fighting edge and are trying to make their way to the upper levels, where they know there to be ships and stuff.
Yeah. So she's gonna look at Leora and just go, "We have a plan. I need you to help me execute said plan. We need to get to the wing. And we're going to try and fly this ship without the control rod."
I mean, that seems like a lot to do. Like, I need to make sure all my people get off the ship.
That's not going to happen before this thing hits ground. The best we can do is try and land it as safely as we can.
The thing is crashing.
Crash
We're
it
just
as
trying to
safely as
determine-
we can.
We're trying to determine where it's crashing at. How does that sound like it's going to help my people get off the ship in time?
It's not.
They are
They're not
giant
going to.
owls.
How many people could giant owls carry? Like 3 people, right?
I would
Top?
say two. Two
Two.
people.
Yeah.
2 people.
Not
What?
everybody's getting off safely. We can get some off. Points to the owls. However, we still need help to not crash badly.
He cuts over to Flora, who's not that far away. Um, he goes, Flora, and she kind of catches her up to speed real quick. And Flora looks at you, Callie, and says, "What does my sister say?"
She's going to the mast to help direct the ship.
Don't forget, Flora is also a druid and might also be able to cast that spell.
You know, that is a great point.
Yep.
And so,
And it does not require material components.
Ayy.
she'll kind of look over Leora and say, "I don't feel bound anymore by the whatever curses upon this ship like I was before. Perhaps we could buy some time to get more people off the ship."
And any would
He looks back.
volunteer
Are the
to help
Oshri
crash.
are the Oshri going to let any of us board their airships above, or are we going to have to take it forcibly?
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna. Who looks like the guard in charge?
There's a guard, like, scuffling with a few prisoners, maybe 20 feet away from you.
I'm gonna go like grab him by the ruff of his like armor, it's like the back of his neck, and kind of like pull him a little close to me.
Okay.
Put my hand on the wrist that has his sword. New orders from Cry. Everybody's to get off this ship. Everybody.
He kind of looks back at you. He goes, "Are you mad? There's barely enough ships left to take, to get the whole clan off, as it is.
Well,
They weren't sitting full-bodied ships down when they were going after Karuta on the floor, or on the surface."
then I suggest you probably stop fighting them. Because there's a chance you may not make it either. Everybody to the ships, or to an owl. But everybody's getting off as much as they can.
He kind of growls and goes, "You're crazy. I'm getting off the ship as soon as I can." And he starts running, trying to make his way through the crowd of prisoners and other guards fighting towards the upper level.
Right. Just gonna kind of shout as if he just gave her an order. Oi! Sorry, I'm not actually gonna shout. Everybody off the ship! Quit fighting! Upboard!
At this point, you said you summoned a dozen owls, right, Skywar?
16 owls, which I have one of them.
16 owls. What level druid do you have to be able to do that again?
You have to have a third level spell slot to do it, but I cast it at 5th level to double the amount.
Okay.
Let me find that for you.
Thank you. I'm just trying to figure out what level Flora and potentially Yora might be.
So to cast, like, just base 3rd level spells is level 3. To cast just base 5th level is level 9.
Level 9?
Yeah.
Okay. So Flora will have the ability to do this, not Leora, though. So back to Flora and them, and you, Callie, and Leora. Leora. Leora's like, "Man, I was kind of hoping you got control of those dragons, at least for enough to get a ride out of here, but maybe we can help out with Skywar's great idea." And her and Flora will start to create or cast the same spell as Skywar and summon giant owls. Leora only being able to add a few at her level, but they also start to take the command and start sending them out to capture or pick up as many prisoners and get them off the ship as safely as they can. And you start seeing that, and that joined with Skybore's owls kind of coming over the top of the ship, just flying everywhere. There's just owls everywhere, and you just see them grabbing two, some three, some like grabbing one on the back and being able to pick up maybe two of the smaller predators in its claws as it flies down. But in twos and threes, they are making this fast. They're trying to pick up as many people and go as fast as possible. You see them going at these speeds briefly as you kind of just see the work happening around you. And this is everyone can kind of see this up, and this is a kind of open air. Um, is that while they're going as fast as they can, it's still taking them a long time to get these prisoners down to the surface and then back up to the ship in a quick speed. They're doing the best they can, but it's quite clear that it's going to help. It's going to help, but there's still such a large number of prisoners on this ship that there's still quite many lives that are not going to make it if there's something that can't be hatched with the whole airship yard thing going on. You after they cast their spells, what do you guys want to do, Callie? Are you guys heading to the mast or a wing or
Wing. She'll kind of turn to the oars. That's the best we can do now. I still need you to help me with the wing, in particular because you can talk to Skyball.
Skyboard okay?
Yeah. However, you can see, right? You can do enough math to figure out we're not all getting off this. So we need to get this ship as safe as we can. Agreed. And the second part of that plan, try and land this as safely as we can. Help me,
both nod.
please.
Just gotta avoid some of the fire after some of the dragons went crazy not that long ago. Some of this is our doing, some of this is their doing, so we gotta be careful. Some of the ship is a little in disarray.
Well, let's go. And then I'll do the scouter to Lorna. We're heading towards the wing. Oh wait, would it be faster for you to get to the wing? We're going to the wing. So I'm right by the mast. Lorna, is it faster for you to get to the wing? Do you have an owl?
I can fly.
It might be faster for you to get to the wing.
I think you got an owl get you there faster.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
I have an
because
owl.
Ryan needs to go to the mast.
Mast.
Yeah.
Alright,
Alrighty.
we have an owl. But I've got him. The other owls are doing prisoner evacuations.
You got quite a few owls between you, Flora and Leora. I think you guys should definitely grab 2 owls to get you to the wing that you're heading to super fast.
And
Yep,
realistically,
we're gonna do that.
Flora would
And then,
wild shape into
Yeah.
a bird.
so we're gonna do that, and I will tell Lorna that is what is happening. Report in.
Alrighty.
Flora will ask you, Callie, to relate or ask Lorna a question for her and say, "Has there been any word or sight of Umbra? I kind of was hopeful when I saw all the other dragons, seeming to be kind of awakening from a crazy sleep. They're all kind of flying crazy out of here. I was hoping maybe someone caught some sense."
Hey Lorna, your sister wants to know if there was any sighting of Umbra
It's
when the
just
dragons sort of got their wits
silence.
about them.
I don't know what to
She's
tell
thinking about it.
her. I don't know what to tell her, Callie.
Ah,
I
right.
don't know.
Flora, you're a druid, right? Flora.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie to you. We have no clue where he is or what happened to him. Is there a chance you could find him before this crashes on your head, or without getting hurt?
I can try my best, but we gotta get going if we're gonna do anything about this ship.
Yep. Do what you can. If you also happen to find a halfling running towards the dragons, team up with him.
She nods, and then she immediately jumps on the back of an owl instead of letting the owl hold her. You see her starting to kind of think hard, and it looks like she's starting to chant some kind of incantation in Druidic. And like the owl kind of starts taking you and Leora and Flora in the direction of the. You're going to the west wing, right?
Whichever one's closest.
Okay, yeah, you go to the west wing. At this time, at this kind of the same time as this is going, then Lorna and Karai, you guys take off in another
Before
owl.
we
But
do,
sure, go for it.
Lorna's going to march over to Cronus, give him a big smooch, be safe, make it off. And she's gonna grab Karai and literally just grab Karai by the wrist and start flying herself.
Okay. All
Doesn't
right,
care
so
if it
you're
hurts her. She doesn't like her.
Yeah, I don't think Karai's gonna let you just grab her. She's like, I'll take the owl.
The owls are taken. I can fly. Deal with it. I promise I won't drop you. Because as much as I hate you right now,
Go.
I need you up at the mast.
Let's go off and say, I'll take the owl. Because there were plenty of owls for everyone to go around. So she will take one of the owls.
No. Lauren's gonna
She
fly.
Refuses to let you carry her around.
Like a rag doll. Alrighty. Lorna.
She does take off and leads you. She's flying a little bit faster than you on the owl. But she will kind of condescendingly ask you if you want to ride as she kind of flies past you in the owl. Kind of over your head, suggesting that the owl would clutch you and dangle you below its feet, similarly how you suggested that Karai traveled with you.
Lorna doesn't even acknowledge it.
She just kind of laughs at your dismissal and shoots forward, heading out. You start making your way to the mast and you descend, and as you land, you see everything is in a disarray. There's fire over in the vicinity, but for a large part, it looks like there's like some kind of bolts of arcane energy coming out from where the mast connects to the deck and goes through the ship, and where the mast turns left, or turns different directions. It seems like that is having some issues, as well as some of the other kind of conduits that lead to other kind of magical mechanical structures along the sides of this courtyard around this mast. Right, kind of like, so which direction are, so if we're gonna avoid the mountainous camp, we're gonna need to make sure it turns left, and we're gonna also need to make sure that the mast is gonna hold and not try to switch directions on its descent. Seems like everything here has been blown to shit and back, but we're gonna need someone that can kind of do something about this, either this magical energy, or we're gonna have to roll up our sleeves and do something physical to keep this mast to stay in place.
Why the fuck do you think I'm here? Doing it physically? No way I'm touching that magic. Right.
What ideas you have in mind? If you don't mind, I hate to pause right here, but I gotta make sure the kids have headed up to bed real quick,
Yeah,
guys. I'll give
no
you
worries.
like 5 seconds.
Okay, idea. I'm gonna drink a potion of lightning resistance because I feel like this magical arcane bullshit's gonna do something. I don't know. I'm also going to... I think we tie rope around the mast and, like, use it to turn it the right way and kind of hold it that way. I don't know what else. Like, I could stick some javelins in as kind of like a turning point wheel thing. What do you guys think?
I mean, that sounds like a plan.
It's a plan. Yep. Mm-hmm. My keys aren't gonna do anything. I'll probably just regular rage because I've already frenzied. How many times have I frenzied? Once.
It was just the one.
Yeah. Yeah, because I didn't end up going down because I got... Yeah. But the amulet won't do anything. The bracers won't do anything. I'm gonna intimidate the mast into working. That's gonna work.
Sounds like a plan. I
Yep.
wonder how that turns out.
I will. Yeah. Is there anything in the bag of holding that I could use? That's right. Group loot.
You jump into the bag of holding, let the ship crash, and then you hop out of the bag of holding.
Oh, the only way Lorna survives.
Are you actually able to do that? Or does somebody have to pull you out of the bag?
I don't think so.
If anything, she can always damage it from the inside.
Yeah. Hey, Beck.
Yeah.
Callie's robe, or not Callie, Anika's robe of useful items. Is there anything useful?
Oh, you want to know what it has?
Anything useful she could use?
Hold up.
We don't have
Pull
the
out the
7
old ass
bullets.
list. Alright. We have 2 daggers, 2 bullseye lanterns, 2 steel mirrors. If you want 2 10-foot poles, it has that.
Okay.
2 things of rope, 2 sacks. Silver coffer that's worth 500 gold. I have an iron door that magically fits and can be barred on one side.
Okay.
24-foot ladder.
Okay.
A riding horse with saddlebags.
Okay.
I have a pit.
You have a what?
It's a pit, a 10
pit?
cubic foot pit that appears within
boy.
10 feet of you. I have a rowboat. A spell scroll of first or third level spell. Don't know what it is.
Okay.
2 mastiffs. And a window.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
hear me out. Get the boat,
Yeah.
2 massive, and a window.
Tie it all together with rope.
I mean, actually though, like I might actually take out the horse and the mastiffs, tie them up with rope, and get them to assist me with holding the mast.
Yeah, the horse would be better. The mastiffs aren't really strong.
Yeah.
They're dogs.
Yeah.
Is this
Yeah,
a
but the
live
big
horse,
dogs-
or is this like just a conjured thing?
It's a riding horse with saddlebags. I don't know.
Sounds real to
It becomes
me.
sentient, and then you take its life away.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I am back.
Yeah.
So, what would you like to do, Lorna?
Well, we're going to do this physically. Lorna is going to. So it's like a physical mast in the center of this area, right?
Right. It's
Okay.
pretty. I mean, it's huge. We're talking like a tree, kind of
Perfect.
like a tree trunk.
Perfect. But it does rotate, it seems, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, what Lorna is going to do is she's going to take how many? 6 of her javelins and
Okay.
stick them around the mast relatively even. Like,
Okay.
yeet them in there as much as she can. She is then going to pull out of the bag Anika's old robe of useful items. And while you were away, we discussed what was left on there, and she's going to tear off the horse patch, and a horse is summoned. A riding horse.
It is a riding horse's saddlebags.
All right.
Okay. And then she's going to pull off a rope patch and tie up the horse, kind of make it like a harness, and tie it to 1 or 2 of the javelins so it can start pulling one way.
Okay.
And then Lorna's going to go to the opposite side and push on the javelins the other way.
Okay. All right.
Before she does that, real quick, because she's in pain, she's going to drink a greater healing potion.
Okay. Full effects because you're outside of combat.
Cool. 44 plus 4, I think.
20.
4 plus 4. Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the horses start to go to work, starting to get the strain a little bit, but as you start to push on it and Crisis push on it, it starts to really kind of give, and you feel like you might be able to get this going in the direction you want. Go ahead and roll an athletics check with advantage.
Okay. Natural 20 for 33.
It feels like it's gripping to the stone and bonework of this ship, but as you kind of flex and put a little bit more effort into your push, Lorna, it does finally move somewhat freely, at least enough with your ability to point it in the direction you want it to be moved to. And I assume you move it as far as possible to get it to go the direction you wanted.
Correct.
As soon as you do, you've stopped the horse and all that, and you feel like the ship, just looking at the way the mast is pointing and the way the clouds are, you just see that the ship is now kind of starting to veer to the left a little bit as the mask are in the split with the clouds and stuff. The clouds start kind of moving to your right as you start turning away from its initial heading.
Alrighty.
During this time, or is there anything else you want to do?
Lorna's going to get on the. Why can I never remember the name of this thing? The scouter. And tell Callie and Salim will hear it. I'm at the mast. We're turning it. We're going to the right. Left. Status. See how the others are doing.
So, so now who's the other group going to the other wing?
Cronus and Skybor.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Cronus and Skywar, you guys take flight on your giant owls, and you see much of the similar scene I described before to the others. And eventually you get to a smoky area near the right wing. You see this massive wing off to the side that's kind of Has some burning on it as well as some tears in it from seemingly dragons crashing and going crazy after coming out of their controlled state. Um, it's just kind of teetering in the wind, not really focused and not really like holding a certain position. Um, you guys will have to decide if you guys are trying to extend the flight to get as far away as possible, or if you're trying to get further, like turn even further away from where you're heading. It won't save you any time, but it'll turn you further away the other direction.
Alright, I'm gonna like put out the flames with my druid craft.
Okay. So you start going to work on the flames. Go ahead and give me a. You could really convince me of any check of dexterity or athletics, acrobatics, or even nature or survival, just because you're using druidcraft. How do you choose to do this? You there?
Or putting out the flames.
Yeah.
You're
You're easily doing it with what you're trying to do. I'm trying to determine how effectively and how fast you do go about doing it.
I guess it'll be survival.
Yeah, sure, go for it. You know, you've made a few fires in your day, even though you've are recently gotten over your fire phobia. But you are putting out the fires and with your druid craft as quickly as you can, um, making the area a lot less smoky and a lot easier to see what's exactly going on. Where you've seen some of the braces around the wing that was kind of just teetering on the end have kind of fallen out of place from explosions or other kind of damage that's happened aboard. These are going to be massive. This is pretty massive structure. It may need some quick thinking or some engineering if muscles don't do the trick. What would you guys like to do?
So what are we doing with this wing?
You're trying to stabilize it, and then you're going to need to move it in a position to either, again, lengthen your descent, buying yourself a little bit more time on the ship to get more people off the ship, or making it decidedly go in a very opposite direction of where it was originally heading towards the fortress.
Yes, grasping vines.
Okay. And you control and tell those vines what to do, right?
Pretty much. But instead of a creature, I want to target the wing.
Okay. 1 second. So you're casting Grasping Vine. Yeah, I like this idea of doing it. So I assume you're trying to try to find a way to stabilize the column so that you can position it, and eventually get the vines grasp and wrap around the wing itself to kind of put it in the position that you want it to put. You're going to need a little help. Cronus, do you want to try to help get this column back in place as the vines are trying to do this, but it's still kind of haphazardly out of position with this column not completely in the way? You'll definitely have some advantage because the vines are trying their best to correct the structure.
Yeah, I would try to, seeing what he's doing, move the column where it needs to go.
All right, go ahead and give me an athletics check with advantage with the vines helping. All right. Being oh wait, you have disadvantage though for the day, don't you? So it's straight,
Yeah.
so straight 13 then. Okay. Um, you start to push on the column, trying to give it to get it into the position you want. Uh, you could try. You spend more time on this effort and try to get it locked in the position. This is all kind of happening in parallel. Just I know you guys are talking to one another as you guys do these things, but I'm kind of imagining you all are like fanning out and doing this all at the same time. So that's why I'm kind of going group by group. You're probably about after talking and coming up with a plan in the aviary, and now what you guys are executing. You're all about closer to 7 minutes into your execution. So you have roughly 7 minutes to go without changing your flight plans. Um, so you have a little time left. You could spend an extra minute or so and try to push this thing into the right position if you want, Cronus. Otherwise, you might not be able to extend the flight as much as you'd like. You're trying to extend the flight, or are you guys trying to turn it more away from the camp?
I don't know if that was ever discussed when we left.
No, that's Lorna.
I mean, whichever way that cry said, realistically, which is probably away
Yeah.
from the camp.
Right. Yeah, Karai, the only reason she decided to help you is you guys promised to steer the ship away from the camp.
Let's put it beside the camp. Not
Right,
Okay.
fucking island.
Yeah, so we would position for it to turn away.
Okay.
Also, for this time around, I will go into a rage as I'm trying to force the column around.
Okay, go for it.
So, with the vines helping me, that would give me advantage, but then I'm at disadvantage. So with the rage, would I be back at advantage?
No,
they don't
whenever there's an
stack,
advantage and disadvantage, it just
eat
goes
the
to
goddamn
normal.
bean.
Well, that's bullshit.
Eat the goddamn
Yeah.
bean.
You don't need no stinking advantage, Cronus.
Damn.
You thought you might need an extra minute, but this time you just kind of took a step back, looked at it, centered yourself, and it's like the boulder wanted to go back in its position the whole time. That with the vines really cinching and sashing everything together again, now that some of the stuff that was keeping it all structurally sound has been destroyed, the vines put the wing and everything in the position you want. This wing will get you guys further away from the camp. It has not bought you any speed, though. Or, I'm sorry, has not saved you any time on your descent. But you guys are definitely heading away from the camp now. We're going to flip back over to Callie, who's arriving at the other wing with Leora and Flora. You see a similar kind of depiction where the column and the holdings of the wing are kind of been shifted around. You do have fire and smoke kind of burning everywhere. There's been a lot of destruction in this area as well. What would you guys like to do?
What were we told to do? Just go, Lorna, we're at the wing, what now?
Well, Salim asked you guys to buy him time.
So
Karai said to slow the descent. Karai said she wants to make sure this fortress doesn't land anywhere near her clan, as she thinks she can.
Well, yeah, but so to Lorna, Callie just go, we're at the wing. What do you need our wing to do?
I need you to stabilize it and make sure it slows our descent.
Right. I'll look to the other two. We need to get there and try and stabilize this wing. Slow the descent. Either of you two know how to put out fires? Because I'm really only good at creating them. Oh, wait.
Create a store of water.
No, that would be create
Leora,
water.
Flora look at each other like they kind of take a look at the area and they'll immediately try to. They can't really get to the structure of the thing with the fires kind of going around it, so they'll immediately try to start looking for sources of water. And in similar fashion, using some druid craft and some buckets, they'll actually start putting out some of the fires out in the immediate structure.
I actually have an idea. So
Sure.
this wing is similar to like a plane wing, so like in order to move it up or down, wind could technically tilt it, right?
Right. So you got up, down, left, right. So you can basically either give yourself enough more lift that will extend your descent, so you won't crash as quickly, or you can tilt the wing a little bit more, and again, have it cutting into the wind, if you will, having it turn more severely.
Oh, so if I use gust of wind,
Okay. What was for 60 feet? Okay. So you're trying to use that. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to get the ship to turn quicker? Oh, like turn further away from the target destination, or are you trying to extend the length of the descent?
extend the length of this descent. That was what I was told to do.
All right. So, let's see here. If you do it right away, with the wing kind of like haphazardly set there, it's probably gonna it's gonna have kind of a random effect. You'll probably need to try to work with Flora and Leora to kind of fix that column to keep that wing in position, and then that gust spell will probably be a little bit more effective.
Okay, so then I'll help them first until we get the wing stable-ish.
Sure. Let's see here. They would have Grasping Vine. I'm trying to see if they have anything else. Trying to be original here. Let's see
I have
here.
a potion of frost giant strength.
You
That's
know what?
as far as I got.
Flora will transform into a giant bear.
Yes.
And as she transforms into the beast, she'll walk over to the column, standing up on her two hind legs, trying to push the column away. It's definitely budging. She could use some help. Callie, if you want to spare some muscle to aid her here. And go
Yeah.
ahead and give me an athletics check with advantage.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and drink my potion of frost giant strength, so it changes my strength to 23,
Okay.
and then I will help. So I am not actually that great at athletics.
You got this. Fuck yeah.
22.
All right. 22. And you do fix the column immediately. You actually can get it, the wing, the exact kind of position. It's pretty labor intensive, and you're kind of doing the most part of this. The bear paws are not too dexterous when it comes to tuning this wing, especially while it's in the middle of crashing. You're trying to extend the descent, so you put it in that position, and then you immediately start to go over to try to cast your gust of wind spell. Not only making it already by position make you guys go a little bit longer, hopefully even giving it a little bit more lift to keep it up in the air as long as possible. Do you have to stay there to keep that going, or is just immediately it just starts happening in that area against that location the whole time?
Just starts happening.
Okay.
Up to a minute, as far as I know.
All right. At
And then
this
I'll-
point, you guys have done this, and you guys are probably a total of 9 minutes in after everyone completing everything they set out to do.
I'll let Lorna know. I got this to give us as much distance as we can.
Perfect. Where's Argo? Any word from him?
Right, I'm also gonna summon or tell Argo to get its ass over here.
Okay, definitely. Karai, while she's next to you, Laura says, "Well, I've kept my bargain. I need to return to my men." And she kind of reaches out to the owl to climb aboard it
Are
again.
you sure you want to do that? I could turn this mast. Don't you want to see it through?
I don't need to stay on top of the sinking ship. I need to get all the clan off this ship as quickly as I can. And we've had a deal. Unless you are just as dishonest as I remember Cronus to be.
Cronus wasn't dishonest. He was just seeing what was actually going on.
She kind of looks angrily at you and says, Cronus is a coward.
Cronus
He
is
got
anything but a
he
coward.
got to escape from our island and never turned back. Never looked back for anyone or anything he left behind.
Good. He freed himself. Actually thought for himself instead of thinking, you know, whatever the fuck you are. Just know, the next time I see you, I'm not holding back. You're lucky he let you live.
Here I thought we were both wanting to deal with the tiefling.
Oh, we are.
If you want to handle our grief sooner than later, I'll be happy to oblige, but today is not that day. And my blade is spoken for Nidell at the moment. So would you like a ride back, or are you going to be stubborn and fly on your little flying boots all the way back up to the upper level?
I don't need a ride from you. I still have people on the ground that I'm going to go and help.
Suit yourself. And she kind of kicks the owl, and the owl starts taking off. And she does not seem to look back at your position, Lorna. She eventually goes out of sight over the buildings and stuff to the upper level, to the shipyard again.
Lorna will relay that Karai is gone.
To be honest, she stuck around farther than I thought she would.
Yeah. And I assume that Callie is translating this to Leora, and Leora is translating this to Skybor.
Of course.
So you all are playing telephone
Yes.
with one another.
We
but you're
are
left
playing telephone.
I will say, within a few minutes, you do start to see Argo appearing in the distance. It's kind of small, but he's definitely making his way to the ship as quickly as he can. What do you guys want to do? You guys have roughly. Actually, you could tell Salim your change of course, but you will feel a little bit of a shift, Salim. You guys bought Salim roughly another 10 minutes, so you've extended this crash from 15 to 20 minutes now.
Sick.
You'll gauging by the from the speed or how quickly Argo's approaching you. You will probably guessing it'll take him about 5 minutes to finally get to the crashing fortress. Now, abandoning ship, the closer and closer you get to the ground, will become even more and more dangerous as you get closer to. But you guys are so far relatively doing good on time. What would you guys like to do now?
Salim, what's your ETA? Have you freed the dragons yet?
Because we could sort of use a ride out.
Haven't got that far yet.
Hurry the fuck up!
Hey, what the
No.
fuck you think we're doing up here?
In the game, we haven't got that far yet.
That's still Lorna's response.
So you hear Sleem huffing and puffing as he's racing through the tunnel, still heading towards the dragon prison yard. You could help with some of these skirmishes that are still going on with some of the remaining guards and prisoners. You do know that there are prisoners that are trying to make their way to the airships. With the amount of owls that are flying around, you're not, you are getting several people off. I will say you guys are maybe close to 100 plus prisoners, but there's still hundreds left to go. Do you guys like to investigate the shipyard, or do you want to try to seek out Karai? Are you guys just wanting to regroup somewhere? What do you guys want? What would you like to do?
Does the mast seem like it's going to hold?
With the horse currently hitched to it, it doesn't seem like it's moving.
If Lorna lets go, is the horse struggling?
No, it kind of turns a little bit more and kind of bumps the horse in the butt, but otherwise the horse just kind of stands there stubbornly.
Okay. To make sure it stays, Lorna is going to pull out the robe again and take out the two 10-foot poles on it.
Okay.
And she's going to jam them kind of into the ground. She'll like make a little divot there and make a divot on the mast to kind of like counter, make sure it doesn't twist as much and give the horse some relief so it'll last longer. And then she'll fly out.
You just sentenced that horse to death.
Yep. And
Yeah,
Skybor
pretty
will
much.
never know.
Why do you look so guilty, Lorna?
No reason. No, none. You,
What's with the long face?
No, it's fine.
Alright. So, Skywar, what are you and Cronus doing?
Oh, our job here is done. I'm going to hop onto my owl and I guess head back to the others.
If you all are heading back to like the upper level aviary airship area, is that what I'm gathering? Callie, is that doing the same for
Sure, if that's where we're meeting.
you? All right. As you guys kind of all start flying above, you start to see that the crowd is definitely less scattered and definitely amassing at the stairs at the leading up to the upper level. You see the hundreds of prisoners pushing and even 100 or so guards of that remains of the ship. The rest of the guards seem to be on the upper level, boarding some of the last few ships. The 100 or so there at the bottom of the steps trying to keep the prisoners at bay so that as much of the Ashi can escape. It seems to be breaking out into a complete fight now. And now it's kind of bleeding a little bit of purple and or shades of brown and black prison clothes below as they fight along the stairs and try to fight their way up to the upper level. As you start to land, you start to see the first few prisoners break over the top level flooring, and as they scramble before quickly being struck down by one of the Ashi clan. The rest of the clan members are there, start boarding the ships, start to board the ships quicker and quicker. With a few now trying to help the guards that were holding the door or holding the floodgates at bay. Try to kind of reassemble some power, but it's not long before the prisoners are starting to overwhelm the guards and bleed onto the upper level. It's starting to become chaotic and a little bit of a riot here. What would you, is there anything you guys would like to do as you guys kind of land on the upper level, kind of overseeing all this?
I think once Lorna gets there, she's gonna kind of go up to the top of the stairs and try and, like... Actually, she's gonna use Thaumaturgy. Because that's the one spell she knows. And make her voice louder and kind of get everybody in line and to stop fighting. And just call out, "Get in a fucking line and we'll get you out of here." Or something along those lines.
Everyone kind of stops and looks at you. Ashi then start darting their eyes at you, at each other, and they immediately bolt. And it's not moments longer before everyone else, the chaos kind of continues to ring, and they start to fight over this, fight over one another, trying to scramble after the Ashi who are trying to make a break for the ships. Go ahead and give me...
Intimidation?
Yeah, go ahead and give me intimidation real quick.
For even better effect, Lorna's just going to hover up about 20 feet and just be yelling this. Intimidation, not an advantage. 14?
Many of the Ashi are sticking to their true nature and being self-serving and are trying to abandon the prisoners as they continue to break free. You notice maybe a few with hesitation in their hearts, but they ultimately follow in with their comrades and continue to get aboard the ships as quickly as possible. Is there anyone else that would like to try to contribute to this effort to maintain some order aboard the ship?
Nobody?
I'm trying to see what I can do.
Well, while you do that, we can do a little flashback, flash forward. Let's just flash forward a little bit to Sleem as you are huffing and puffing your way through the caverns, and eventually you start to feel a chill you have not felt for a long time in these lava-filled caverns that you've been kind of running through. You enter the prison cell where you found Umbra and several other dragons bound in chains before. The air is freezing cold in this room, and you notice there's ice kind of starting to amass on even the metal chains and where lava used to flow through this room. You look around, seemingly for Arethic, who you left here before. You don't see her immediately, but a similar fashion when your group first arrived in this room. You hear a breathy kind of snake-like voice come from the edge of the shadows of this room, and you hear. Give me 1 second. You hear this voice come out. You came back. I never suspected you to come back. And you came back alone. Interesting. And her large head kind of pokes out. You see the chain upon her neck. Where are the rest of your friends?
What are the other dragons around? And the Dragonborn and all them? What do they look like? Do I notice all that?
There's no Dragonborn in here, but there are all the other dragons seem to be like in similar fashion. These frozen type like chains, or frosted over, I should say, chains. And
Are they
they
sentient, awake?
they definitely seem lucid. They're definitely aware of their surroundings, kind of resisting. You hear a lot of strain, like dragons are trying to break through some of the chains they have.
Okay. So what's the name of the white dragon again? Because I'll forget it 3 or 4 times.
Rethic.
Rethic. Okay. I'll tell her that the rest of the team has just defeated Igneous. Is that it?
Igneal, yep.
And I came back because we had promised to free her and the other dragons once we were done. The ship, the island that we are on, is going down and going to crash.
You killed Igneal.
Yes,
That
well,
makes
not
sense.
me personally, but I helped. But yes, our group. Killed Igneal, the tiefling got away, chase him. Once we rescue as many as we can off of this crashing island.
Well, let's begin the rescue right now. Free me and my kin immediately. As
That's
you
what I'm
promised
here
you would.
for. I just need a promise from all of you here that I free that you will fly as fast as you can up to the upper deck, grab as many prisoners as you can, and rescue them off the ship as you escape.
More
And
deals,
I
more promises. Your first
I-
word wasn't good enough, and now you want to deal more.
I'm asking you this, and I'm doing all this humbly and playing up to their vanity and everything. But we need your help. Us lowly humans need you mighty dragons' help, and I do have a magical ring that I will give to whatever dragon rescues the most people. Prisoners, not Ashi.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Persuasion. And I'm being very humble, so I know they're... Is this with advantage or not?
No, there's no advantage.
Because we had that feast. This was not...
No.
Oh, 34.
I think 34 is good without advantage.
Excuse me.
Free me from these binds, and I will have my full power returned to me, and I'll get the rest of these kin shattered out of their confines. She roars in command and speaks to the, and her voice then booms in the cave as she starts to command her kin. We have a rare experience of mortals and these creatures keeping their word, returning for us. Nidell has kept us prisoners and using Igneal to confine us, and we will see him pay dearly for this. Well, I don't think. Well, Dragonshall were always meant to rule and lord over these lands. For now, we might need, for the moment, to escape together, to escape the doom, and also plot against the Nidell and his kin, as he has done to us. And she roars, and she kind of waits for you to kind of lockpick her chain free.
Okay. And while I'm working on that, I again humbly ask her if she would convey me to the edge of the tunnel where we first landed the ship. I explained to her all of that because the young black dragon, I believe that he was left there, and we want to rescue him also. I would be most grateful if she could do that.
We can get you up to the group before the ship crashes. She can't get you to that
She
tunnel
can't get me
and
to
back
the
to the top.
Okay.
Not if you
So-
want to regroup with the others up top. Now, if you want to just jet, you totally could, but then you're probably not going to get as many prisoners off as Rethic could afford to
I
carry.
was hoping that the other dragons would go up and get the prisoners off, and then her and I could go to the tunnel. She would not be willing to do that, or would she?
You would do that, but I would say you would not be able to get to the top of the ship. Let's see here. You're 15. You have 5 minutes. Argo is just arriving to the ship right now. So I guess you would have. Let's see here. You're spending like a minute or so talking and unlocking it. You really wouldn't have time to fly all the way to that tunnel entrance and then all the way back to the top of the ship. You could choose one or the
I
other.
just want to get to the tunnel entrance and see if
Okay.
the other dragon is there, and then pick him up and leave. We don't need to get back to the others.
Okay.
I just want to rescue him from the edge of the tunnel.
He commands her
As long-
kin to follow his instructions then, and the rest of the dragons fly up to through the tunnels, kind of the way you came to the prison. Some go through the way you came from Igneal's lair, the bigger ones, because they know it's too small to get up to the prison one. But they all take flight like bats being awoken in the cave. And you start flying in the direction of the tunnel. Is there something that someone else wanted to say?
Do you relay this, Salim, that the dragons are free? They're
Yes.
coming
And
to
that they're coming up.
Cool.
Well, not
So-
yet. To you
Okay.
guys, you guys are like
Yeah.
still
Oh,
like
yeah.
5
That's
minutes
fine.
in the past. So
Oh.
Okay.
let's skip back to you guys before we do any kind of real time news.
Yeah.
You guys
Uh.
are the it's getting ugly on board the ship, and they're starting to spill prisoner blood and Ashi blood, which is making the Ashi even more brutal towards the prisoners, and any kind of grace or a prisoner that kind of squeaked by and found their way onto a ship, which has been very few so far in this riot. Now they're doubling down and killing prisoners that even finally make it aboard, that are kind of pushing their way through. It's kind of fight or flight. It's not pretty, but
Yeah.
things are getting real ugly.
Hey, Lorna. I need you to make a really, really loud sound directed right on us.
Yes. What do you need?
Use thaumaturgy again.
Uh-huh.
I need their attention.
Uh-huh. She's going to just kind of like reach deep down into her core, and she's going to just yell out this barbaric scream to hopefully get their attention. Mixed in with like a little bit of like thunder hitting the ground.
All right, you do so.
Does it get their attention?
It definitely does.
I'm gonna step forward and just look at the guards and go, Karai died in front of us. She's back because we put her back. The dragons are free, and the big one's dead. You can all die with them, or get on the fucking ships. Your choice.
They kind of look at each other, and it's equal. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check real quick.
Before you do that, Cronus, add into this. Do it.
To help when Lorna's trying to get their attention, I will pretty much be right next to them too, and I will use the my dragon roar to kind of echo through, and
Okay.
hopefully it kind of frightens and startles everyone to, start knocking that shit off.
And knocking some sense into them.
Give me a persuasion check, Cronus,
And me?
and you as well.
With advantage because we all helped?
Or no?
Give you all advantage. Yeah, go for it.
All right, back to normal.
15? Rolled like
Damn.
shit. There you go.
Okay.
As you, you know, shake them all to their core with another loud outburst and another draconic roar, familiar roar that many of the prisoners in Ashi have come to kind of shudder when they hear, and they look over in the direction and they hear your words, Callie. Some of the guards start to just stop fighting it and just try to find a seat on a ship and don't really care who gets on the ship. They're just letting everyone who get first come, first serve. This starts to happen for many of the ships. It seems like most of the Ashi have gotten off. Karai has already seemingly taken off on one of the other full ships now. The other ships are starting to get a little bit more mixed match of prisoners and Ashi getting off, with several hundred still doomed to kind of stay behind aboard the ships, even with the last few finally filling up full. At this point, as people are start fighting and still kind of squabbling, albeit a little bit more peacefully, you hear some roars coming from below, and the areas of some dragons seem to start being flying up towards the upper levels. And at the same time, you hear a roar kind of coming over from the over your head and your shoulder, Cronus, and you see this large adult kind of dragon, black dragon, fly down and descend and drop behind you. And it looks at you familiarly at you and Lorna, and he also then stares off at the crowd of Ashi and prisoners and lets out a massive dragon roar to kind of re-emphasize your point. It seems that Umbra has found you guys.
Yes.
He kind of bends down, offering to take you and several of your you, Cronus, Callie, and Skyvor aboard his back to fly out of here. Oh, I'm sorry, probably 2 on his back and 1 in each claw.
I
Or
think
you
we
just
need
want
to
to
make
stay
sure.
aboard the ship longer to make sure others get off first.
Yeah. Real
that one.
quick. Yeah. Did we hear Salim then at that point relay that the dragons are friendly enough towards us?
As you hear rumbling from below, you hear a little communication come in from a friendly Salim. Salim, you're on your way out, about to reach or your dragons are about to reach the surface, the top level of the ship, and you are making your way to the exit tunnel. What would you like to say to your comrades?
I will tell them that I got the dragons to help us, and they will rescue as many of the prisoners, not the Ashi, the prisoners as they can. They're under control of... See, I forgot her name again. White dragon.
Rethic.
Rethic. They're under Rethic's leadership. And they've agreed to rescue prisoners.
Already.
And we're heading to the edge of the tunnel to see if Umbra is there, if we can rescue him.
He's up here.
He's alive. He's okay. He's much
Okay,
bigger now.
sounds good.
Get yourself to safety. And
All right.
we'll find each other. Lorna is going to use thaumaturgy once again and kind of hover up a bit. The dragons are coming, but they are friendly. Former prisoners, let yourself be carried by them or go on their back if they let you. You can trust them for now. Don't struggle and don't do them harm. The Ashi, good fucking luck.
I would avoid the dragons if I were you.
Yes.
Yashi and the prisoners still panic, and they start getting on the ships more and more, hearing that dragons are coming, and even though they say they're friendly, they have teeth, they don't believe you. Um, so they are rushing into the different ships, and eventually you hear the noise tremble, get louder and louder until they erupt from underneath, from the prison cells, breaking through those grated ceilings that you guys looked through in the beginning of your person. Introduction to the prison yard. You start to see some dragons fly up from underneath you through the from the aviary area and fly out through that tower. Um, and a couple hundred of these varying size, different color, metallic and chromatic dragons flying out of this aviary. And you see several of them start to arc over and fly towards the shipyard and the lower areas to pick up as many as they can. It's not graceful. It's not nice at all. You don't. There's not a lot of getting to know you. They basically are swooping down, and if you didn't know better that they were there to help you, it would seem like they're hunting to take you back to the lair. As they reach down and grab several prisoners, but in their clutches.
Mm-hmm.
Very few let them get on their back and their wings, but they grab as many as they can in their claws and start to rocket down to the surface and come back to get more. Between the owls and the dragons now, you're getting lots and lots of prisoners off. It's still unlikely that all of them are going to make it off this ship.
And Argo?
Argo
Yeah.
also arrives around this time as you get outside the ship, Salim, out through the tunnel. You are a safe distance away from the ship as you see Argo finally arrive to the flying fortress. He kind of descends upon the the pretty much empty now airstrip. You could probably fit maybe 50 other people with you on the ship before things get really tight. You will
I'm
have
gonna
to
start
handle
loading people onto
survivor
the ship.
panic though as well.
I'm going to start loading people onto the Argo.
Okay. Leora and Flora also assist trying to guide the prisoners in order as orderly as possible onto the ship. But as it starts to fill full, desperate prisoners are still trying to like grab onto the sides of your ship and cling on. What do you guys do?
Lorna's gonna take 2 prisoners with her, and she's gonna jump off the side of the ship because she can float down.
Okay.
She's basically going to say, actually, she could probably do 4 people, maybe, if you'll allow it. 2.
I'll allow 2. 4 is a
Okay.
lot for
Okay.
one person.
Unless
Unless you want to fall like a rock.
I mean, she basically does.
What's that, Cronus?
Who has the portable hole?
That's gone,
No.
technically, right? Because it was put up in that tunnel and then no one went back for it.
No, because I think, Salim, did you have a different one? Or was that the one from the group loot page?
I had a spell rope trick which
Yeah,
opened
it's a
up
different one.
Yeah,
didn't-
that wasn't
I
the
didn't have
portable
the-
hole.
Oh, okay,
I didn't
gotcha.
have the hole.
No, someone has it.
Yeah, Lorna has it, but it's not in the bag of holding. I'm specifying that.
Correct.
And it's specified in the group.
Are you about to shove people in the hole?
Yes.
I mean, I'm not going to shove. I'm going to offer, and then we can just fold it up and then take it with us real quick.
Yeah.
How long
Smart.
do they have air in there?
10 minutes.
10?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it should be enough to get.
That's for like one person though, right?
Yes.
We're not going into that type of physics. It doesn't actually say. It just says there's 10 minutes of air in there.
And realistically, it's going to take, what, a minute to fall?
Well, the reason I asked is it like the bag of holding where you can't breathe kind of thing.
No, the bag of holding has 10 minutes of air in it. The same portable hole, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, you can breathe for 10 minutes in there.
Okay. you could, I'm assuming your plan is to drive the ship as quickly off into the ground in the
I
next
mean, it's
3 minutes
Argo.
before it
We don't really
crashes.
have to drive it. We just have to
Right.
tell them, hey, go land.
You could, with that amount of time, you could probably fit 5 people tops in there without having oxygen be a real concern.
That's 5 more people than we had before.
Yep.
And then you grab 2 people there, Lorna,
Yep.
to take it with you.
Yep.
There are still people clinging to the ship, but the ship is finally light enough to start lifting off the ground. There's
Okay.
many prisoners kind of sobbing and in tears. Leora and Flora both kind of are in tears, calling out to them. Some of the luckily, a lot of the older ones started seeing the writing on the wall and let a lot of the younger generations get off first. But still, even though some of them looking through tears, assuredly, as you guys kind of lift off to safety, there's still a lot of fear and sadness across many of the prisoners that are not going to make it through this crash. They
Or
start
wait.
desperately running back towards the center of the ship where they see dragons still descending and scooping up prisoners, hoping that they'll be able to be rescued off of the ship before it crashes.
Back.
I don't
Uh-huh.
actually have anything to help, but if Lorna's not riding Umbra
No.
and we're not on Argo, we can take at least one other person with us on Umbra.
Yeah, I assume like Flora and Leora were going on Umbra.
Yeah.
Question though for
Oh.
you, Back.
Mm-hmm.
Have you used Divine Intervention today?
I tried it this morning.
Right. Okay, I didn't know which day it was.
Or wait, did I this morning?
Was it this morning or the night before?
I think it might be the night before.
What was your last request? That might help me remember.
Oh.
Pretty sure it was to break the control of Karat. Or to break the
Yeah.
control of the dragons.
Use it like a spell slot or a channel thing, which should be on your character if you used it.
I've never kept track of it. I only
Oh.
kept track the one time it worked and how long it took me to get it back. Also, it's been a lot of sessions. I don't remember if I used it this morning or not.
I don't know.
Well, let me post something. It is getting to that time, so if we pause it here, we can
Yeah, let's
figure it
pause
out.
it here. If you don't mind, I'll try to find time to go back through. I should be that long. It should be like maybe 2 episodes
Yeah.
ago. Because last time was a lot of fighting. I can't remember this episode before that if it
It was
was
also
a lot of fighting.
but
Oh
I
wait,
think
I used it before we went to sleep. Because I used it to see if it could break the control after Salim broke Skybor and I out of it in the bag of holding.
Okay. Okay.
yes.
So I don't think I ever used it in the morning.
Well, let's regroup here next week and see what shenanigans you get into then, I guess.
Oh yeah.
So real quick,
Yeah.
where am I
Yeah.
at?
see,
You
see
are
if the goddess
as
of love can
these
help us
ships,
get these people off.
as you see, you are finally away. You see Argo kind of arrive and board the fortress. You can start making your way up there if you'd like.
Okay. Am I
Um,
within 60 feet? I'm on the back of the white dragon, right? Or in her
You're not
hands.
60 feet away from them.
Prisoners. I have featherfall. I can save 5 more.
You got to
I'm
get to the
60.
top, like to the upper
Okay,
level, or to
so
the
I'm not.
decks
I'm
to
not
get there.
within 60 feet yet. Okay.
No. You're on the
Awesome.
bottom side of the. Remember,
Gotcha.
you're kind of on the
Then I'm
underbelly
flying
of the
up.
fortress.
Gotcha.
You know what? I went through all that trouble at the beginning of the session to get that image back here, and I never even
Oh.
made you guys do that. So, you're kind of on that underbelly right there, Celine, like kind of flying
Okay.
out more towards this area where the group is
Gotcha.
kind of up here.
Gotcha.
Actually, a little more up. right here
Yeah.
with the airstrip.
I see those are the giant wings there. At least one
Yeah.
of them.
Yes,
Okay.
so that's one of the wings that you help move and stuff. You can't really see the mast in here because it's AI
Gotcha.
art.
So I really even can't see them. I'm just flying out from underneath.
Right, from your experience on the layout of the fortress, like
Yeah.
you can see
Okay.
the aviary as a point of focus, so you could head that way. But
Yeah. Just me and the white dragon are flying up above the island.
okay, you're soaring along the side, and by the time they're departing the ship or the fortress, you'll definitely be able to.
Yeah. But
regroup.
I won't be able to get there in time to save anybody else then.
Rethik could probably scoop up a few more people once she gets to the upper levels for sure.
Okay. Can work that out next week.
Okay, yeah, I'll try to keep that in mind. But yeah, you definitely can accomplish that because you
Alright.
guys got the ships and everything done a lot quicker with your persuasion rolls and everything else. So you guys did great. I hope you guys had fun.
Ooh.